Welcome to Key Talk with yours truly, CoachAmberJ, your go-to CEO, life coach, and wardrobe expert. We are on episode 3 of Key Talk. On this podcast, we talk about can we start all over? Okay, sorry. Keep rolling. All right. Here on this podcast, we're all about unlocking the keys to a successful work-life balance. Together, we'll empower you to live your purpose and greatness. Join us as we dive into powerful conversations dealing with past pain and trauma and healing so that you can walk into the future. Today, I'm super excited about our guest that we have today as we are going into, like I said, episode 3. We have an amazing this topic this month is, or this episode is Q&A with the coaches, and I have an amazing coach with me, Seclenda. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
We
Hey.
finally linked up and got together, so I'm so
Yes,
excited to
thank
join
you.
with you. I am Coach Seclenda, and I am a life organizer and business strategist, and I am here to give you the hot seat and ask Miss Coach Amber a couple of questions, right?
Yes.
We're going to bounce off a little bit, and then I'm going to have a little rapid Q&A later on, ask some surprising little questions just to kind of dive in deep of who we are just as individuals, and get a little personal, right?
Yes.
All right. So I would like to ask you, I know you have answered a couple of questions before, but we're just going to act like it's just brand new, right?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
this is also for the viewers who have not seen maybe one or two. So we're going to give a little bit more of in depth. So what inspired you to be a coach?
So, what inspired me to be a coach actually was just the inspiration of my own life. I was seeking to find something different. I woke up, I think in episode 1, kind of woke up and just realized like this can't be my everyday life. Like going to work, coming home, like I felt purposeless, even though I had all the things that people say should make you happy and feel fulfilled. So, I really went on just a discovery of really who am I? What do I need? And as I began to ask myself these questions and start researching and YouTubing, I came across this phenomenal coach. Her name is Chanel Cooper Sykes. And I binge watched her. I'm like, oh my God, like, this is everything that I've ever imagined my life to be. And she also was a coach, personal development, empowerment, confidence coach. And she really summed up for me what a coach was. And it made me think like, oh my God, I've kind of been doing this my whole life.
Your whole life, right?
I've always been the solution person.
Yes.
If you have a problem, okay, what we gonna do now?
go-to.
Like what's the go-to?
Calling.
Yep, call
Yes.
to problem solving. And so in 2013, that was kind of when I started my discovery. And then I went into just really diving deep into myself. And then I was led to move to Las Vegas. And that's where I heard the word clear as day, like coach. And in that time, I was in a major life transition. I was relocating just in the middle of a divorce, starting brand new. And so I really had to I heard that and I'm like, how am I going to coach someone? But it started with my own self. I had to coach my own self. And that's kind of the journey of where coaching began.
Right.
Yeah.
I resonate with that completely and 100,000%. I'm also the go-to person.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was shaky about becoming a life coach because I had dealt with, when I looked at life coaches, I just perceived them to be, kind of button up. And I knew everybody had their story, but I just didn't feel like maybe they resonated with me, coming from childhood trauma,
Yeah.
and dealing with toxic relationships, that I felt like maybe I don't have the right to be in a coaching space. But then I met somebody who says your experiences, and then we talked, and you said as well, like, what better person to help clients than someone who has actually dealt with trauma or any type of healing, and a background of just different experiences. And I have a worldwide of experiences of a lot of different things. And I hesitated becoming a coach until I met somebody who was just, again, your experiences. So I was actually building my business while I was going through a divorce as well.
Oh, wow.
And so it pushed me to keep going further, and I just kept doing brick by brick until
Yep,
I
that's it.
formulated my business. Yeah.
It's awesome too. I want to kind of go into that because what better qualifications could you have than experience? And when we think about, I know people that have college degrees and they get out of college, they graduate, and then they go apply for that dream job, and they're like, well, do you have experience? Right. And so you may have the degrees and the accolades, but if you don't have the experience, a lot of places won't hire you, even if you have the degree. So I think what anyone that may be dealing with that guilt or that shame, or maybe questioning or doubting themselves, think about that. Your life experience is way more valuable, a hands-on or a book. And to be honest, everything that I was trained for as a coach, I've never applied in my business because it's not relatable. Yes, you need some foundational tools, and it's important to have those certifications and have the knowledge, but my experience supersedes any of the training that I ever received. So I just want to encourage anyone that may come across that to know that you don't wait until you get the degree, or don't hesitate until you feel like you're qualified, because you're already qualified.
Right. I always think about that, like when you have a doctor and they're book smart, but they never worked on anybody.
Yeah.
They want to come and work on you in practice. It's like, wait a minute, but do you have the experience?
Exactly.
Taking me apart.
Right. Cutting me open and slicing me. Yeah.
I know that's just something that, so I most definitely get that. What kind of clients come to you for their services? What do you really attract? And they're like, oh, I think I want to work with Coach Amber. What do they tell you?
So most of the time, people that are attracted to me initially, it started with the wardrobe, confidence, branding, image, and then when we start to have a conversation, they're actually in the middle of a transition, and transition is just change. So they're ready to start a new business, or they're leaving their 9 to 5, or maybe they just got divorced. So there's some kind of life transition that's taking place, but they normally don't start with that, because I don't think sometimes we identify that we're in a transition. Yes.
The noise back here that they avoid.
Yes. So I think what normally people are attracted to is the imaging, the branding, the confidence, showing up consistently in my business is where a lot of them start at.
Right.
How about yourself?
For me, I think through my social media and how I put myself out there and express myself, it is mostly dealing with trauma healing. So I get a lot of women who are from the LGBTQ community, which is where I'm from as well. And also women who dealt with having their voice taken away in some way, shape, or form. Whether they're in a marriage and, they don't know how to fully express themselves. They're being kind of like cut down low, or from childhood trauma that has happened, that their voice has been taken away, and they feel like they can't be heard.
Yeah.
And that is something that is real dear to me, because I've also experienced that. And it took me years to get my voice back. I'm always the type of person who looks at somebody in the eye. And then I remember my first marriage. I got married at 22. When we got divorced, I came back to California and realized that I wasn't looking at anybody in the eye. Like, I felt so cut down, and I didn't even know.
Right.
And when I caught it, I said, we have to change that.
Yeah.
So I most definitely get women who want their voice back.
Yeah. It's important too. I know I've had my voice silenced, not through intimate relationship, but through different friendships, business partnerships, where I silence and like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that, or the opinions of others, right? Like they'll say like, oh, maybe this or that. And one of the things that I've dealt with is, since I was young, and it's so like ironic that I've always been over the top. Like, I will be dressed up with heels on at a kid's birthday party, and people are like, why are you dressed up for a birthday party? And now I get paid to dress people, right, for the things that someone tried to belittle or silence me in. Even the wardrobe component, I just recently really have been, I've always had that component in my business, but it was not the forefront of it, and I fought for a long time. And then I really recently reflected on, why don't I like to do this?
Right.
And I made like, oh, because you were shamed so much about being overdressed. Like, why are you always dressed up? So
I know that one.
yeah, so it's like the same thing that people will silence you for is the gift that really creates who you are.
It really is.
Yeah.
And they actually admire that.
Yeah.
So that comes from something in their background that
Yep.
they need healing.
Healing, key.
Life
Listen, if you're
transformation.
listening, key
Yes.
points that, and I think that it's really, really important that you become self-aware, right? Because
Yes.
a lot of times we're projecting, right? We're
Yes.
projecting onto other people, and we may not be aware of it, but in this day and time, like, it's so important that we begin to be self-reflective before we point fingers.
It's almost like bullying.
It is.
So when you get somebody who, I mean, we watch the movies, they always put that out there. There's always somebody getting bullied, and what they show in the background is like they're getting bullied at home from a parent, a sibling, getting picked on. Like they're really shamed at home, and then they bring it to the forefront and put it on somebody else. I'm not going to take it as in the bullying part, but my great grandmother raised me.
Okay.
And I didn't have my parents growing up, so a lot of my pain and my anger came from not having them.
Yeah.
But since my great grandmother was the first and closest to me, which she was my everything and my best friend, and I took it out on her. I couldn't.
You can receive the love.
Yeah. And I didn't know where to give that outlet to. And she gave me so much grace. And I remember conversating with her and apologizing to her, just going through that teenage stuff.
Oh gosh, yeah. Yes, yeah. I definitely can relate to that. I wasn't raised by my mother, and there was some of that anger, and as a child you don't understand.
Exactly.
Even in my book I talk about my early childhood experiences where my stepmom raised me, but there was kind of always like, I'm going back to my mom, right? And so there's that. So this is why coaches are here as well, and dealing with healing and trauma, because we have to be able to identify those things and then really process through them so that you can tap in and you're not walking around triggered, projecting, blaming, shaming, and guilting because yo-ish. Like, let's be honest, it's yo-ish.
Take it back. Here you go.
Here you go. Yeah. I actually recently did an exercise about taking my power back and releasing what didn't belong to me, right? Like, especially around, for me, growing up being a mixed child in a predominantly Black community, I always had so much shame and guilt about, like, you think you're too pretty, you're light skinned, you're this, you're that. And I had to like start taking my power back. Listen, I didn't ask to be here, okay? But since I am, so yeah, this is really important. And just to the audience, like, I really want you guys to take a moment and to reflect. Like, is there some things that maybe in your childhood that you haven't been able to identify or pinpoint? And now's the time. Take a moment to reflect and say, why am I in a cycle? Maybe why am I stuck or stagnant? And how can I want to move forward. I want to be able to connect to people. I want to love and have real relationships. But that mean girl spirit in you, that angry bully man inside of you, like, really start checking yourself and deal with that. What's up with you? What's up with heart?
We're in 2024.
Right.
We have seen so many different things come to light, and it's like a banana. When I get my clients, it's like, let's peel back one layer. Let's peel back another one, get to that center core of what the deep-rooted issue is.
Right. Absolutely.
And even in relationships, marriages, and things like that, and I've dealt with it too. You come together unhealed.
Yeah.
And then you wonder why you're unequally yoked. Excuse me. And then when you're in this relationship, you feel like it's kind of like towards you, but it's, again, what comes from the childhood.
Yes. One of the things that I've taken this year, 2024, is really understanding and applying, not taking things personal. Like, when I really, really started to understand what that meant, it's like what you're saying, or like you go to the store and the cashier has an attitude. She really doesn't have an attitude about you. She may have had a bad morning that morning, crazy driver. Her boss is,
said
said
something, did
something,
something.
and
Yeah.
she just projected it upon
Yeah.
you. And so what I've started to do is like
Take a step back.
take a step back and say, oh, you know, I hope you have a good day.
Right.
You know, like, so people can start to be able to identify and check themselves.
Start smiling at each other.
Yeah.
Start hugging. Call the person you have talked to. Said love. Like, there's so much love that's missing out of the world right now.
It's so much love missing.
We need to start bringing it back.
Absolutely.
Start healing, transition, and then my biggest thing is living with purpose.
Yeah.
I think during COVID, a lot of people discovered that they were doing the things that they love.
Yeah.
They want to
for
find
sure.
something that they love to do. Because
Yeah.
you're here on earth and you have to live the rest of your life. Even when I get again back to relationships, if you're unhappy in your relationship, do you want to stay in that, or do you want to grow? Do you want to make it better? Let's start making the choices to either move on, fix it. Like, what are we doing? So we can move forward to the next step. So what kind of struggles do most of your clients have when they come to you? What have you noticed? Any repeated cycle?
A lot of my clients struggle with boundaries. They struggle with
boundaries.
boundaries. Yes. I would say self-care.
Self-care is so
and balance, like really. And I think when people think of balance, they think like the scale should be like this,
Never
right?
would be.
But real balance is basically being able to give yourself in all of the compartments without draining yourself, right? So maybe for me, I'm a single mother of 3 sons, right? I run a business, I work a full-time job, and I still coach people. So for me, balance looks different in every season and every area, right? One season I may be like, back to school just started, so I was heavily focused on my kids and them having everything they need and being present and showing up at their back to school night. That was balance for me in that moment, right? So that meant, okay, I'm not scheduling anything here, or this last weekend. Balance for me was like, I haven't been out and socialized with my girlfriends or celebrated them in a while, so I'm gonna have a good weekend. It changes. So balance looks so different. And I think we think balance should look like this. The kids are happy, the money is good, this, and it's not that. Yeah. So I think those are the things that a lot of clients come to me for, is really helping you identify that, set boundaries, reaffirming yourself in new seasons, being okay to shift in a different season, right? I think sometimes we think like, oh, I'm doing bad in this season because this is not happening, or the fruit, but this may be a season for you to rest.
The door opens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
those seasons changes, the door opens.
Yeah. So in knowing who you're supposed to be in that season as well, right? Some seasons you may need rest. Some seasons you need to be networking and running and going, and it just depends. So those are the things that I help my clients identify, accept, strategize around, create plans and schedules around, so that you can constantly be like, okay, I'm okay. Like my saying that I always say to myself is like, the kids are okay. The kids are okay when life may be chaotic, but
you're okay. You're breathing.
The kids are okay. And that's just for me in every area of my life. Like, okay, the kids are okay. Like, okay.
Roof over your head. And even sometimes when you lose things, like I didn't have a home for a while. I know what it feels like to lose everything.
Yeah.
And I've done that twice, and how to bounce back. It is a struggle. I mean, you go through many challenges. It does button you up a little bit different. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
There is a light at the end of the tunnel.
But you have to change your perspective. You have to get in a space where you want change, and you just got to keep going. One thing that we talked about depression at one point in time, and I suffered from depression a couple times and for years, and just to know that there is a way out, because some people don't think that there is a way out. And there is a way out.
Absolutely.
But you really have to sometimes just sit and be still, and then let's see what we can do. One step. I say, like, they say 1 day at a time. Maybe you got to do 1 second.
I say 1 second, moment by moment. Really, like you really have
steps.
to baby steps.
You got to crawl before you walk,
or you might have to scoot. Listen, you may not even be able to crawl. You might not have enough energy.
That's a good one.
You might have to scoot.
Yes.
And that's okay. And I want to hit depression, right? Because for the first time in my life, this last year and a half, I didn't realize I was depressed, right? And I was just going. And then when I lost everything crumbled. And I'm like, oh, wow, what is happening? Like, what is going on in my life where this happened? And I had to go and identify, oh, this one thing set off a ripple effect for everything else. And so once I was able to identify why I was where I was in that moment, like, how did I lose everything? Where was my momentum? How did I get to this place? Like, the normal me would have never let this happen. It really helped me to say, okay, you were depressed, Amber, and that's okay. We know now, and these are the steps that you need to take to move forward to get out of this depression, right? But it's not easy. But I think if you're willing, and you have to be willing. And the other thing that for me that I did was I made a decision. And a lot of times we stay stuck and stagnant in those states of depression or in those low states because we don't make a decision.
You have to make a decision.
You have to make a decision.
Yes. That's really the only way that
that's
I came out.
Same. Like, I decided, like, you know what?
Decide.
I don't want to feel like this no more.
Period.
Like, I'm tired of feeling sorry for myself. I'm tired of looking around that I don't have anything.
Yeah.
Get the hell up.
Yes.
Like, excuse my language, but get up. And I made a decision that this pain, I don't want to keep this pain.
I don't want to be in that space
anymore. I didn't want to be there no more. And I was like, I'm going to turn this pain into purpose.
Yeah.
And this is even really why this Key Talk was birthed again, because if some of you have been following me for a while, I've had Key Talks majority of my business, but I halted it for a while because I silenced my voice, right? But I had made a decision, and I'm like, I'm going to start sharing the things that people are afraid to talk about, right? We're embarrassed. For me, there was a lot of embarrassment that came with it. Shame, like regret, the coulda, shoulda, wouldas. How did I? Did I?
Yes.
And so when I realized, okay, like, and then I started talking to other people. I'm like, oh, you experienced that too? That happened to you too?
It's really a lot right now.
Yeah.
There's a community is lost. I'm big on community.
Yeah.
I'm big on women empowerment. There's so much damage going on right now. And I feel like there's a lot of damage control that needs to be happening right now.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people feel that they don't have family. They don't have support. They're looking for it. It is out there. But again, you have to get up and get out and find the support.
Find the support and get out of your comfort zone.
You got to get that.
One of the things that I've learned, just because you were born into a family doesn't mean that they're necessarily the family that you're going to continue with, that are going to be the support that you need, right? Even in business.
Yes.
Yeah. So a lot of times we're looking for the comfortable people, really the people who hurt you to fix you. And it's like, they are not the same people who cut you are not going to sew you up. You need to, you get cut at home or in the streets, you got to go to the emergency room. Someone else has to heal that.
And that's where we come in.
A coach.
Yeah. Yes, most definitely. I totally agree with that. Where do you see coaches being in the future? I'm big on community, help others build online communities. Where do you see the futures for the coaching space? Where do you see that going?
I definitely see like a digital.
Everything's online,
which for me, everything I see being online, it's
human connection is
human connection. You can't replace.
Black Mirror. I don't know if you've seen Black Mirror.
No.
Okay.
You have to tell me about that.
Black Mirror. Yeah, it's an episode.
So I don't think that I think that a part of why, especially during COVID and now that we're coming out, like, we kind of had to learn how to re-engage with people. And I think that's where a lot of people are suffering at, is like,
out of the house.
Yeah.
It's hard.
So I think that for coaches, there's definitely going to be a digital takeover with communities, which is an amazing thing, because again, when we don't have the support that we need from the families that we were born into, or the people we know, we then can go and get supported and know that there is support available. But I think community is important. Right now, all of us, so many people are needing support in different things, and being able to use people properly, not misuse them. But hey, you have this, I have this. This is how I can help you. You can help me. May not be monetary value, but that support is important. And I think community gives that.
Yeah. You can reach the masses. I live over here on the West Coast. you may click with somebody way over there on the East Coast, and in different cultures and different spaces, like-minded people. That's why I say find your tribe.
Yes.
Find your tribe.
I like to say attract your tribe.
Yeah.
Attract your tribe, because I think we have the power to create whatever we want. So if you're looking for a certain person, I met you. I came to a Nevada Partner incubator space, and I met you.
Yes.
And I heard coach, and I was like, I need a tribe of coaches, right? Because I'm not the be all end all. And I like to connect to other people that, hey, this is not my expertise, but I have someone I can refer you to. And so when I heard that you were a coach, I was like, I need to get to know her.
Yeah.
I want to meet her.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what do you do? What do you know?
Yeah.
And I'm building and attracting my tribe because I want to have a community of coaches that can support and heal.
Yes.
And again,
we need support.
We need support.
Yeah.
But I know I'm not the end all be all, right? And I know I meet a lot of people that are suffering, and that I would love to be able, if I can't assist you, then I have someone that can.
Yes.
And I love that for us.
Yeah. I'm like the queen duo.
Yes.
And we can do a lot of high fives because that's how I feel inside.
Okay. I like it.
Yes. So when do you think someone should seek a coach, and why?
I think you should always have a coach personally.
Right.
In different phases. I think coaches are just like athlete coaches, right? When you want to get to another level, you have a coach.
Transition.
So if you look at the grand scheme of your life and you say, hey, okay, these are my goals, how can I reach them? I think that's a huge indicator to say, I need a coach right now, because yes, I'm here, but there's some other places that I want to go to. And I feel like that's where coaching comes in, because we help you identify, strategically create a plan to get you to that next space.
It's hard to see when you're in it.
It's hard to see the frame when you're in the picture.
Yeah. So someone on the outside, it's like, hey, you're like, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
and it'd be
sure.
Clear as day, but
once someone points it out,
you point it out.
Yeah.
And again, going back to coaches bouncing off ideas, you see things, creating, and just it's magic.
It's magic.
With the coach is like magic. When I was with my coach, she was like magic. I'm like, how did I not? And I feel like I can do everything. I'm the type of person where
a tourist.
Yeah. So even during pandemic, I learned how to do nails, acrylics, and everything. I'm just like, I'll see something like, I think I could do that. But that stems from a childhood. Even when I was doing bikes, like I was like a tomboy. So I would take the bike apart. I'm like, I could put that bike back together. And I will do it.
Wow,
I'll just do all kinds
awesome.
of different things. So that was like a gift and a curse, because I kind of put that into my relationships. We talked about that build a bear,
right?
I want to build you the person that you're with.
Yes, and not let them be who they are.
Yes,
that's a setup for failure. Woo. For sure. I think like looking at people's potential makes you miss the person.
Yeah,
because who truly reaches their potential if they're not working in it,
right?
And most people are not. So
yes. And I told you I have my list, so I'm in the same stage. I have my list up with the checkoffs, and I think that helps me. I'm a very organized type of person, super detailed, so that keeps me on track with what I want to attract and what I want them to have. Yeah. I just feel like that's going to help me move forward. And I think that it is good for people who are in relationships or struggling or single and want to get back in the world. Like, what do you want in this next relationship? So when you're looking for a person or what you're putting out there, it makes sense that equally yoked.
Yeah,
like it makes a difference.
In anything too, I think that can be applied across the board. What are you looking for emotionally, spiritually, financially? Like being intentional about every area of your life is really important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I have a few rapid questions. You ready?
I'm ready.
This is just to kind of like get into, a little bit of personal. So, do you like music?
I do like music.
Okay.
Yes.
On your way here, did you listen to music?
I did.
Give me your 3.
Okay, so my kids, y'all, I have teenager boys, but they put me on this song.
Not the new generation.
It's the new generation. It's called Kalani, I think his name is. Oh God, I'm messing up his name. But I was just listening to the whole album, and I was over here vibing on the way, like, hey, I'm gonna get them bands up. I don't know the words, but something like that. That's all I remember. Like, hey, I'm gonna get the bands up. Yes. And then it talked about having white toes. Most of the time I have white toes. So yeah, I was feeling that song. I think his name is Kalani. But I had his little album playing.
Okay, give me another one. Or that
that was a drive here.
You were sucked into it.
I was. His music is really dope. But I also just met a recent artist here at an Friday at an event I went to, and I was playing his music last night. His name is Jay Natural. Y'all can find him on IG. He has some dope lyrics.
Oh, you got a little shout out.
Shout out, Jay. Jay Natural. But I was listening to him last night and I was like, okay, this is some dope music.
You gotta pass that to me so I can see.
Yeah.
I come from the music industry, actually. My father.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a producer. So I grew up with him. He was signed to Capitol Records at one point in time.
Wow.
So that's another piece of the group. So let me be the judge.
Okay. I'm gonna send it over. I'm gonna send it over. But I've been on Friday now I was invited to an open mic and there were some amazing artists that were there, local artists. So I love live bands. I love people who are just great at what they do, whatever that is, right? If it's arts, gifts, poetry, like
it's beautiful.
It is beautiful to see how creative people can be. So this weekend, I just been on a high because I've just been like going to the poetry thing or open mic on Friday night. Saturday night, there was a open mic with Hassan's Kitchen, and then the Legacy Lounge. We partnered the Legacy Lounge and Hassan Kitchen had an open mic, and then Sunday night there was an R&B open mic, and I just been in the music vibe, like so. Yeah, I love keep doing what y'all doing. If you artists are out there listening, listen, go after your dreams. Drop that song, send that whatever it is you do to do. Do it. Yeah.
I feel like magic happens in that.
It does.
Layer on top of layer on top of layer.
And you know what? Music really changes your mood. You know, watch what you listen to.
Yes.
That's why driving over here, I wanted to be intentional of listening to something upbeat because I don't want to be listening to no heartbreak song trying to get live. You know, like, oh, I remember he broke my heart.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. All right. I want to add in mine.
Okay, yes, go ahead, girl.
Just because I took it all the way back, and I was like, okay, I put on a little bit of Shantae Moore.
Oh, you got
Avant.
I love some
Guy. I took it back.
Guy.
Yes.
I haven't heard Guy in forever. Okay.
Tell me something that the world wouldn't know about you. I'm like, really?
There's a lot of things the world would know about me.
Let's take this out.
I'm a very spiritual person. My belief is in God, but I'm very spiritual. I'm very, I have a very intimate relationship there. And I don't think people know that as much. I'm not religious by far, but I'm very spiritual. And again, my belief is in God.
Same.
I could be.
Something coming.
I am a turn up queen.
I
could be a little,
spicy.
A little spicy.
You like the spice?
I like spice. Just a little bit. I love a good time. I love to dance and laugh and just be myself. Like, so those are things I think a lot of people don't get to see that because I'm usually in this, professional mode, prim and proper. But put on a little bit of Megan Stallion or something, you're gonna see Amber.
There's two people. There's Yolanda Adams, which is a gospel, and Patti LaBelle, and they both say they love rap. They listen to rap at home, but they come out. You have this persona. You think, but again, everybody has their own thing that they like in the background. But they love rap.
Yes, I'm telling you, I was driving over here like, I'm gonna get them bands up.
Yes. Yeah. Something about me, I'm a sci-fi chick.
Oh.
And a lot of people don't know that. I'm a sci-fi chick.
I can see that though. Yeah. I can see that. I think it goes with your personality with the details and like the intricate details of things. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What's your favorite color?
So my favorite color is royal blue and yellow. Those are my favorite colors, but you probably don't see me all the time in all of those colors, but those are really my favorite colors.
Okay.
How about yours?
Um, I am earth tones in a beachy way. So, especially coming from California, so I
Oh
love
yeah.
beach vibes. So blue, greens,
Yeah.
something bright. I used to buy things in my closet that were black, which is, goes with everything. But I'm a mood person.
Okay. Same.
I'm a Taurus, so I change with the mood.
Yeah.
And black just seemed to like make me feel dark, and I want to be bright. So I like bright colors.
Yeah,
But in my
same.
home, I love the sexiness of black
Okay.
and silver. So
The intimate, romantic feel. I can see that.
with a
Yeah.
little bit of gold, a little bit of silver.
Yeah.
Depending on the season, I'll change it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Let's see one more question. Okay. Personal development or business development? If you could pick one, which one would you do?
Oh, that's hard. I would have to say my first mind and my heart is always personal development. I'm always trying to develop me as a person, as a human being. But in this season, I would say I need to do more business development.
Yeah.
But my heart is I'm always self-reflecting. I'm always introspecting, always trying to figure out how I can be better as a person.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. How about yourself?
I attract more of the personal development, and I'm always about the personal development as well, because I feel like in order to get to the business, you have to do the self work first.
Absolutely.
Because when you just go off of, let's go back to a client that comes in who has this business, they want, let's create this, this is where I want to be. And you start on this train, and then something else will come up in the life. Life is lifing. And then it's like, well, that doesn't kind of match with
what business,
what you want to do.
Right.
You want to get this certification, or you want to get, do a career change, but then you just told me you have a passion and a love for animals.
Right.
Yeah. Do you want to go with your purpose? I feel like passion to purpose than to profit.
Yes.
Because it'll speak more.
Absolutely.
You, and you'll love what you do.
You love what you do.
And that's the thing, is like people are waking up and not loving what they do.
Absolutely. Even for me, like I knew I was called to coach when I would coach for free. Like
that part.
Like that passion and being able to live in my purpose. Yes, it comes with a lot of trials and errors, but
nothing's easy.
There's no greater feeling, rewarding feeling than to be able to impact someone, give someone some keys that transitions or change their perspective, and knowing that I had a part in that for them. Like it's so rewarding. Yeah. So I definitely say personal development is very key to anything, right? And really knowing who you are. Again, going back to the girl at the grocery store who's a clerk. You're at a job because you don't know your purpose and passion. Yeah. And I met one clerk. He was the most amazing clerk I ever met. I think he was purposed to be a clerk because he was so happy and energetic.
You're working bees.
Yes, and they're great at it. Yeah. But I think when you really know who you are, it really makes life easier.
Very much.
Yeah.
Then you want to wake up.
And like, how can I impact the world today?
And that just hit a ding of something of depression too, is that there were times where I didn't want to wake up.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to bed. Just go ahead and
take me now. Take me now. It's too much. Yeah.
But I would have to say after my divorce was a decision that I can just remember in my mind. It's like I was writing because I journal a lot.
Yeah, journaling.
I love journaling. And I've been journaling since I was 12 years old, and I still have them. And I have about at least 15 to 20 journals just throughout my life. And I have it for business, I have it for personal, I have it for goals, all these different things. And I remember writing in my journal, and I went back and read a last piece, and it said, I never felt that I wanted to live. This was a time that I actually felt excited to wake up and to live once I found my life coaching business.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I knew I had a purpose. I felt it all along, but I wasn't too sure that this is what I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because I battled with, the things that I went through in the past. I'm just like, well, how can I even advocate for this? I'm just like, but you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So finding your purpose, going back to that again, circling. it makes a big difference in so many ways.
Absolutely. Even for myself, like I read a post recently that said the most happiest moms is the ones that take care of themselves first. Yes. And it's true. Even with my children, I feel like we have such a great relationship because I focus on me first, right? And they get the overflow of me. They don't get the depleted version of me, right? They get mom who's showing up, who's present, who, you know, can be engaged with them, opposed to like, oh, I'm so tired, I'm burnt out, you know. So I think it goes across. And then talking about relationships, right? Like being in a relationship where you know yourself, you love yourself, you're able to be like, okay, I can pour into my partner and I don't expect my partner to make me happy, right? Because I'm already happy. I just need you to be that extra, you know, cherry on the top.
That cherry on top.
Yeah. So I think knowing your purpose, knowing who you are, really gives you a fulfilling, successful life.
Personal development.
Yeah.
Peeling back those layers.
Yeah.
So start now. It's just the time right now. I think we're all in a space of awareness. A lot of people are coming out with just change and spiritually connecting and self-healing. And now a lot of people, I'm always big with my clients on getting a self-care routine. Absolutely. It doesn't have to be
a money-based just self-care routine.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Yep.
I meditate. I light all my candles up and I just sit and or stretching. Oh my God, stretching.
Yeah. Stretching. Yeah. And for me too, is like prayer, meditation, walking, hiking,
get outside,
just giving yourself, like you said, 10, 20 minutes. And sometimes you have to build it up. I started with 5 minutes, right? It would be 5 minutes in the mirror, just having a conversation with me. And then I'm like, oh, maybe I should pray, or maybe I should add this, right? So you can build it up, but start with 5 minutes of just dedicated time for yourself.
Have to.
Yeah.
To feel good.
Yeah. And sometimes we don't want to feel good because our circumstances doesn't look that way, right? But again, mind over matter, right? How you feel on the outside will exude on the outer, in your outer. And if you don't like what it looks like on the outside,
change it.
Look inside, because a lot of it, I mean, it's as simple as making your bed every day. Yeah. That will change your whole mood. If you don't feel like cleaning your room, make your bed up, and then you'll be like, oh, let me go ahead and pick these clothes up. And, you know, it'll give you that motivation, spark you to start feeling better. I say get dressed every day. Like, even if you're a stay-at-home mom or you work at home only, like, put some clothes on, put some lip gloss on. Like, that would help you a lot.
You know, one thing I got confused with making yourself feel good is emotional eating, because it was making me feel good, but I was an emotional eater. So I had like, okay, well, this isn't really
making me feel good.
Yeah. So there's like, I'm thinking that's the case, or getting in a relationship wanting to feel love because you're getting that. So it makes you feel good, but isn't right for you.
Yeah. So sometimes it's just healthy self-love.
Healthy self-love.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to, like, again, check yourself. What am I doing to actually make me feel love? And is it really serving me?
Is it serving you? Absolutely. Yeah. And I think, again, I'm really big on knowing who you are, right? When you know who you are and you know where you're going, does this align to the woman or the man that you want to become? Right? Like, if I eat this meal today, will it make me feel good tomorrow? Right? Or will I bash myself or guilt myself because I gained a pound or whatever? So really, I would say, y'all catch these keys right here. I'm giving you some keys. Really just asking who you are and who do you want to become, and then align your life to who that is.
Yeah. You know, that goes back to like journaling, vision board.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm digital, so I love Pinterest. I don't know if you know what Pinterest is. So I make my vision board on Pinterest. So I'll go and like grab like quotes, or a woman working out, or even traveling. So I have like and I have different albums. So I'll have like, you know, one for self-care, one for healing, one for words affirmation, and then I'll have one for like my bucket list. So like if I want to go to
another country,
Switzerland or something,
right,
which is on there. Let's go to the questions. If you could pick a country, let's do three countries. Where would you want to go?
So my first place. So first of all, I have my passport. I've had it for like 2-3 years, and I have not got one stamp. It's completely collecting dust. Yeah, like, but So I have 3 places I would want to go. The first one is Paris.
Okay.
Okay, like that is number 1 on my bucket list. Thailand. My son's name is Thailand because I've always wanted to go to Thailand.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
My youngest son. And then the third place I want to go to is Japan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard Japan is beautiful.
I heard it was too.
Yeah.
So yeah, my goal
blossom.
next year is to really go somewhere, get a passport stamp. But those are my 3 bucket list places that I would love to go.
Have you ever been out of the country at all?
I have not.
Yeah.
No, I have not. So I've always had a phobia of like sleeping in other people's beds and showering in people's shower. Like even with that, I still just get like, yes. So a couple years ago, I challenged myself to face my fears, and so I started to travel in the state first because I'm like, I haven't even been anywhere in the States. So for a whole year, I traveled in the States to places that I wanted to go, and I kind of faced that fear. So now I'm like, I'm ready to go to Thailand.
What's your favorite state?
My favorite state, okay, I have 2, but my number 1, more for love and like, oh my God, it was so beautiful. I know people are gonna be like, what? But Chicago.
Chi-town.
Oh my God. It's so beautiful there. When I went there, I felt like, oh my God, I feel in love. Yeah. It was just so beautiful. The buildings, the structure, it was just very romantic. And then my other place that probably for my business development was New York. Like, I felt like when I was in New York, I made it. Like, I'm here. I made it. What's up? I'm in New York. And the vibe, oh my God, like,
it's different.
It's so powerful. Like, I was like, when I came back, I was like, I'm ready to grind. Like, I'm ready to start 20 businesses. What's up? It gives you that vibe. Like, everyone is hustling. I never seen so many tennis shoes in my life. But
yeah, because
you walk everywhere.
You gotta walk
everywhere. You gotta walk everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say those are my 2 favorite places that I visited.
You have a third?
Vegas. Vegas. Sin City is my home. I love it here. Being from California, I feel like Vegas. I wouldn't want to move anywhere else because everyone comes here because we have everything.
Have you ever lived out of the state?
Yeah, I lived in California.
Oh yeah.
California, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you? And I don't know about time. What's the time? Does anybody have the time?
Oh. Okay, cool. We could knock it off with this one. Switzerland.
Okay.
Fiji.
Oh, okay.
And let me see what my third is. I know I have it somewhere on my bucket list. I thought about Germany.
I heard Germany's beautiful too.
But let me say Ibiza.
Okay.
And Australia. I'm the same. I've been to Cancun, Mexico. That was my first. I was 18.
Okay.
I had my passport and then I lost it. I don't know where it is. So I have another passport and it is also collecting dust.
Oh, so we got to go
get out.
Yes. Streets. Community retreat coaching. Let's go.
Yes. Yeah. So I most definitely need to get some stamps.
Yeah. I've never been to Mexico. I mean, I've been through Mexico, but I've never been to like Cancun or anything like that. So yeah, I definitely did travel. I
heard it's changed because the water is changing with all the toxins. So I don't know if the beaches are still pretty, but it's still good to just get out there. Yeah,
I think just to get out of the country.
Let's see. You have anything else you want to dibble dabble on? No. Anything rings a tone?
No, I think this was amazing. I hope that you guys got some keys out of this. I want to. How can people find you?
I am at Coach Seclenda. You can find me on all platforms. And I am the founder of Unlock Paradigm Mastery. And Coach Seclenda.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This was really cool. I love this idea of us having this conversation. So if you guys love this episode, make sure you guys drop some hearts, share, and invite some people. I want to give a couple. I am actually I will be a guest doing a 5-day reset mindset. So make sure you find that on my Instagram. It is a 5-day challenge just to reset, refocus, mastermind. So
I love that.
Tap in. It's free. It will be online. It's happening next week. So if you're not following me, follow me on Instagram because I seem to put more stuff on Instagram than any other social media platform. So yes, we're having a reset, refocus, and give you that jump start so you can really shift your mind. It's going to be amazing. There's 5 other speakers that's going to be a part of this. It's 5 days, so it's going to be powerful. So make sure you tune in, join us. And also, if any of this sparked you and you're like, you know what, I need a coach, like I need to get my life together, make sure you book a free discovery call. You can go to my website at CoachAmberJ.com. Let's have a conversation. Let's see if we're a good fit. If not, maybe I can refer you to someone else. But make sure that you're not alone here, you guys. You have to do the work. You have the master key. You got to use it. You got to turn the lock or lock the lock. So I hope this was great for you. This is episode number 3, and I'm super excited. Thank you for being a part of this. And we will see you next Tuesday. Also, we have a live audience here, so come down to Nevada Partners. The Westside Incubator, Community Incubator is here. Resources are available for you. Shout out to Elias for doing his amazing things. There's a lot of things happening here in the community. Get connected. Don't say you don't have resources if you don't use them. Get involved. Yes. So thank you. Shout out to Nevada Partners. And until next week, we'll see you next week.
Bye.